8 years ago, a new motorcycle racing series was born called ThundersportGB, and here we are right now. It's a beautifully sunny Brands Hatch Indy to start the 8th season. It's 2015 and we're ready to rock with the Aprilia Super Teens, the RRV 450s and the Super Twins and Stock Twins. Welcome to GP Racing Dream. So here we are then, round one for 2015 at Brands Hatch, and we're in the Aprilia truck here, ready to get going with all the action, and we've got a very special guest riding here this weekend, Managing Director of Piaggio UK, Aprilia effectively of course, Tony Campbell. Tony, I hear a rumour that you're out there racing today as well.
I am, yeah. I thought that I'd got a bit old for all of this, but I thought I'd come and try and show the kids, you know, what an old boy can still do. So, yeah, and of course it's to support the championship as well.
Obviously you've been involved with Aprilia for a number of years now, and Ian Newton, you've had a decent relationship, so you've had a close eye on the Super Teens and the 450s for so many years now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for Aprilia, obviously, and the Super Teens and the job that Ian does with Stuart Events, I think it's a fantastic job. You know, they've produced many world champions. I mean, we don't need to go through the list. And we have been supporting Ian, you know, for a number of years. And it's important to us. You know, I think it's... we don't speak about it often enough, about what Ian does and what Aprilia do in terms of bringing on young riders. So I think it's a great job. And as I said, it's really just come here and show my face and see the kids and, you know, and see what we can do. So...
Whilst this 450 machine is absolutely perfect stepping stone for the youngsters moving up from Super Teens, it's important to highlight the fact that although this bike isn't available effectively on the road, it's a really great race bike. What are your thoughts so far?
Well, I mean, I used to ride 250 Grand Prix. The bike feels unbelievably like a 250 in terms of the chassis. Obviously, it's down on power and it's a bit heavier, but, you know, all I could say is the more we could get, you know, I'm not necessarily old retirees like me, but for sure people that are doing sort of running 600s and 1000cc bikes, that, you know, this is a great place. I know the kids at the front are really quick, but it's incredible racing, low cost relatively speaking in terms of what it costs to go bike racing. Ian runs a fantastic support, so, you know, I think there is plenty of space for people that not necessarily want to be the next you know, Valentino Rossi, but for sure, you know, want to just enjoy their racing. I think it's a really good place to come.
And just focusing on you very briefly, you've been out in morning warm-up already. Has it all come back to you again?
Well, I was here testing Friday. I mean, we've done some times which are sort of midfield, which I'm not too disappointed with. You know, you kid yourself that you're going to get somewhere near the front, obviously, and a lot of years have passed. So, but this morning it feels good, the circuit's good. It definitely feels quicker than it did on Friday, so, you know, we'll see. I'm off the back of the grid because I didn't qualify, so because I weren't here yesterday. So we'll see how many places we can make up.
Okay, well, it's great to have you here, Tony, and enjoy your day's racing.
That's great. Thanks a lot and good luck. Cheers.
Well, there's no better place to start the season than with the Aprilia Super Teens, of course, a class for riders aged 12 to 18 out there on identical Aprilia 125 production motorcycles. We've seen so many stars coming through this championship, and for those of you that are new to watching the Super Teens, I'll mention the names: Casey Stoner, Cal Crutchlow, Chaz Davies, Leon Camier. The list goes on and on and on. That have all come through this championship from the moment they started racing and have gone on to greater things. And, well, since 2008, the Aprilia Super Teens has had this great connection with in competition. Thundersport and Aprilia Super Teens continue, and here we go. We've got some new kids on the block for 2015, and down into turn one we we'll have one or two newcomers to remind you of throughout the year, but that looked like a good start for number 81, Freddie Crane, who was one of our newcomers from last season. Freddie from Ramsey in the Isle of Man on the Jugger Racing Aprilia. Two riders certainly to bring to your attention immediately, based on the fact that they will be at the sharp end, as we just see there, Max Lofthouse, one of the absolute novices. Of course, you'll probably see orange bibs denote the fact that these guys are completely green to any forms of road racing. And this is a good well, there's no better place to start your motorcycle racing than the super teams, as a number of superstars will probably tell you. But out at the front, it is TJ Toms. You'll see him out there, number 7, and a couple of riders that you might not be familiar with. Number 30, Max Cook, 12-year-old from Swindon, and also number 72, Cameron Horseman. There's Cameron with the lime green wheels. Number 72, Cameron, 13-year-old, 2012 50cc Metrokit Fab Racing British champion, 2013 70cc Metrokit Fab Racing British champion. He's loaning that bike from a former super team rider, Lewis Good, and his dad Terence, and this is his first time racing in Aprilia Super Teams. Quite a shy lad by all accounts, but ruddy quick on a motorcycle, so keep an eye out for Cameron. And Max, the 12-year-old from Swindon, well, he's, despite being the tender age of 12, number 30 he is. You can just see in 3rd place there with the orange bib on. He has been racing since the age of 6. His grandparents actually bought him a Chinese mini moto when he was 3. His dad wouldn't let him race it until he was 6, but since then he's been runner-up in the British Mini Moto Championship a few times. Last year he was in the Metrokit 70cc Championship, finished runner-up, and there's a change here for the race lead, and that is Max Cook, just on cue there, going from 3rd up to 1st. His dad Adam runs the Scott Redding Young Riders Academy, and so Max is actually a tutor to the young riders that enter that. They're aged 6 to 12. And so Max is already a tutor, despite being a complete newcomer to this, the Aprilia Super Team Championship. So despite being 12, he's got a good 6 years experience under his belt. He's yet to win a championship. He's finished runner-up a few occasions, just missed out, but he is the real deal. And we've been racking our brains here at Thundersport, because yesterday he picked up 2 wins, and we cannot remember the last time a complete rookie, having never set his legs over an Aprilia Super Team bike, has ever got pole position and won the opening 2 races in his rookie season. I really am flummoxed at that one. We're going to have to look back. I've checked, of course, the obvious, Casey Stoner. He didn't quite manage it, but we'll have to have a look through the records a bit deeper. I'll have to sit down with and have a chat with Ian Newton and find out. But it is number 30, Max Cook, that has the advantage from Cameron Horseman. In 3rd place is TJ Toms. You may remember TJ from last year with the yellow wheels. Number 7, rider from Bridgewater on the Motrack Racing Aprilia. He dotted his name on the podium a few times, and he's looking to go one better and try and win the championship this year. Further back there is Jack Scott on the JJ Racing Aprilia. He's a rider from Luton, another newcomer, as I mentioned before, orange bibs. Complete novices to racing. The reason why Cameron Horseman hasn't got an orange bib on, despite the fact that it's his first season racing on a super team bike, is that he's spent a couple of years racing over at NG, so he's not a complete novice to road racing. Either way, it doesn't matter how much experience these youngsters have got. This is fabulous stuff from them. And this is the battle for the race win. TJ Toms it is that has the lead. Number 7 from Cameron Horseman. No, sorry, Max Cook it is that has the lead. Further up ahead, he's already checked out. He's going for his 3rd win out of the first 3 races. And further back there is Reese Wilkes, who's having a little play out in the Super Team class. This, of course, Nitro Newcomers Cup is for the complete novices as well, so the riders with the orange bibs on will be effectively scoring points in their own championship. Well, Max Cook is leading both of those at the moment. Number 30 through the bottom of your screen, lapping there at 56.6. Not quite being able to match the lap record that was set some years ago now by local rider Jake Dixon. The name may well be familiar to you as he competes quite heavily in British Championship now. There's Freddie Crane, number 81, a rider that was in this series last year as a newcomer, is now getting his gloves off and has moved up into 3rd place ahead of TJ Toms. So the 2 riders from last year at the moment are being done over by the 2 newbies. Complete novice Max Cook and Cameron Horseman, number 72 there. Further back, I should just point out George Knight, number 23, is in 5th. Connor Thompson 6th, ahead of Sam Messenger, Jack Scott, Rhys Irwin and Matthew Bauer. Rhys Irwin is Keelan Irwin's brother, rider from Ireland. And this is his first time on a bike as well. Oh, and someone's pulled off there. That is number 26, Alex Wood. And the rookie Alex there from Shipton Thorpe on the Rimmer Racing Aprilia has parked that one up. Last lap flag is out. and this is looking pretty good, isn't it, for Max Cook? We've seen some newcomers do well over the years in Thundersport with the Aprilia Super Teens, but none quite as well as this. Back in 2008, we saw, of course, Fraser Rogers as a rookie pick up the championship, and then Wayne Ryan in 09, Chrissy Rouse in 10, then Joe Francis, Lewis Rollo, Zach Corduroy, and last year Rory Skinner. There have only ever been 3 riders that have won the championship in their rookie season: Casey Stoner, Fraser Rogers, and Joe Francis. Could this young man be following in their footsteps and be set to break all the records? We will find out, but at the moment this is number 1 in the bag. In fact, it's 3 on the trot if you include the 2 from yesterday, but the first one on TV goes to Max Cook. We are looking at a star in the making. The 12-year-old from Swindon crosses the line to win. In the background, it's going to be a proper dice for second overall, and that is going to go just to Cameron Horseman, who takes second place, number 72, the 13-year-old, ahead then of Freddie Crane from the Isle of Man. Then it's TJ Toms, number 7, ahead of George Knight, another newcomer, and Connor Thompson finishing there in 6th place overall. There's the top 3, Max Cook, Cameron Horseman and Freddie Crane. And then in the newcomers, Max Cook the winner from George Knight and Connor Thompson. Third place in the Nitro newcomers here for the first race on the TV day. Connor, a fabulous result for you here. Newcomers, how have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was a really good race. Managed to catch George up on halfway through the race and overtook him. Unfortunately, he overtook me back, so yeah, good race.
Anyone to thank at all?
Yeah, I'd like to thank P&H Motorcycles, Christy at Christy Glass, Puteline Oils, my mum for my new helmet, HJC, and Aprilia, Thundersport and Dunlop. And that's promise.
Well done to you. We'll move on now to second place overall in the newcomers. George Knight. George, some great racing out there. How are you enjoying your first round here at Brands?
Yeah, that was really good. I really enjoyed it. I had a really good battle with Connor as well. That was good.
So looking to maybe go one step closer next time?
Yeah, hopefully. See how it goes.
And anyone to thank?
I'd like to thank my mum, dad and Dunlop, Aprilia and Thundersport.
Well done.
Cheers.
Move on now to Freddie Crane. Freddie, you're back up here again. Of course, towards the end of last season, you started to get on the podium, and you're starting how you mean to go on, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've been doing well, and we've been trying to, get up there, push a bit harder this year, and the race was good. I had a few bike problems, but hopefully we can solve them for the last race, and yeah, it's been a really good day, and hopefully we can carry it on.
Anyone to thank at all?
Yeah, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Paul Devon Performance for all the gear and support he's gave me, CES, Isle of Man, for helping us out and supporting. I'd like to say a big thank you to Azzy Paints for doing a great job on their bike, on making it look good and really nice out there. I'd like to say thank you to Lee Bridge for helping with tyres and support. Alan and Val Cook, my dad, family, and Andy Broughton, Neil Wood, and Dunlop Aprilia, Thundersport and Nitro. Thank you.
Well done to Freddie Crane there, third overall. Second then for Cameron. Cameron, first weekend here at Brands, and you've been involved in some fantastic racing out there. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was a good race. Had a good battle with TJ and Freddie.
And how are you enjoying the Aprilia Super Teens overall?
It's good.
Anyone to thank?
I'd like to thank my dad and Lewis for lending me his bike, and TJ for a good race, and Dunlop and Aprilia Thundersport.
Well done to you, Cameron. That was second overall, but the winner of the Nitro Newcomers and the winner of the race overall, Max Cook. Max, you've blasted onto the scene and you've won a race there quite handsomely. This is brilliant for you.
Yeah, well, I was quite amazed to come here, and it's the first round and ending up winning. So came here with no expectation and tried my hardest out there and got the good results.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you'll be looking for another win later on this afternoon, but who have you got to thank?
I've got to thank 100%, well, mum and dad first. Mum and dad done an excellent job doing the bike and funding racing. KJD did an awesome job with the team. 100% suspension, they're really good. M4 karting, King's two-wheel centre, Aprilia, Dunlop, Plum Surf in competition, and the marshals for doing a great job.
Well, we'll have more Super Teen action coming up a bit later on, but after the break, stay with us. It's the HMT Racing Super Twins and Stock Twins. Welcome back to Brands Hatch. It's time for race 2. Beautiful day here at Brands Hatch for the opening round. There's Dan Freer, a rider that has finished runner-up probably too many times for his own liking in the Super Twins. And there's the reigning champion, Sam Wilford, on the IDWE racing Aprilia 550. Sam, who was a rookie just a few years ago, it's easy to forget. He's out there fighting against this man, James Folkard, on the Scott Racing Moto 550. And I can tell you that James Folkard, of course, as you probably may well remember, is still the only rider to have ever won a Aprilia Super Team Championship and an Aprilia 450 Championship. There he is, number 11, nearest to us, rider from Liverpool, with a really cool new helmet design for 2015. Away we go then. These three guys really need no introduction. They normally go at it. They're all great racers. They've all got their own lap records. They've all won championships with ThundersportGB before. Dan Freer, of course, the Formula 600 champion a couple of years back. So into Druids we go. Also within this class, Stock Twins, effectively Super Twins, but with a few rule change tweaks here and there. Keep an eye out for those. Reigning champion Dan Taylor is back out again, number 26. We've also got Charlie Oakland, 23, Aaron Bradley, Jamie Morris, etc. Number of riders to keep an eye out for. Now I'm looking out for Brad Peary, number 97. Not sure what's happened to him, but he's on the grid for the warm-up lap, but nothing seems to have happened with him. Now Brad, a rider that you would expect to see at the sharp end, has not come out to play. Meanwhile, at the front of this race, it is. There you can see Dan Freer, number 66, fighting with those two Aprilia 550s. In the background there, Dan Taylor, number 26, the reigning mini-twin champion this year, onto the Stock Twins. But it's James Folkard that leads this one. Folkard, who won the 450 championship a few years back, on an excellent year that was for him. And as I mentioned before, it must have been 2007 that he won the Super Teen Championship. Just the year before ThundersportGB was in fact invented. He was with JDF Racing back in that particular year. John Davis, of course, who's gone on to mentor and manage a number of riders to success in Aprilia Championships. And look at this lot, 3 abreast across the start-finish straight, and now Sam Wilford, the reigning champion, says, hang about guys, don't forget me. And the rider with the green leathers and the green helmet, new for this year, and he is taking the lead, but it's taken back again from James Folkard, and Dan Freer there has gone from first to third, and this is going to be great between these three. If we get these three fighting all year, would be superb. Number 11 there, Folkard from Liverpool on the Scott Racing Motorcycles, Aprilia 550, just up ahead of same machine, but different rider and different sponsors, of course. The champion, Sam Wilford, on the IDWE Racing Aprilia 550. You'll notice that Sam Wilford has got an English knee slider flag, it's the St George's flag on the left, and a German one on the right. That's because his mum is German and his dad's English. So it's as simple as that, really. Into turn 1 we go. Folkard with the inside line. Sam Wilford there in second. Dan Freer has just dropped away a little on this last lap. He was only a couple of tenths down, but he's just struggling to keep up with these guys. The lap record is completely gone. It was held by Folkard, in fact, but as they've all broken their own lap records, they're all underneath it. Such is the pace of this class. There's Aaron Bradley, number 111, one of the Stock Twin racers on the Suzuki, on the AB Racing machine. But out front, it's 2 Aprilias, number 11 and number 1. Folkard versus Sam Wilford. Sam, who will compete in the Aprilia 450 Championship as well, under the traditional number 35. You'll see that race after the break, but these guys here swapping paintwork as they come past the start-finish line and into turn 1. Now, looking at the split times, ThundersportGB have TSL timing with them for 2015, and we have the benefit of split timing as they switch places once more. I can tell you that James Folkard, and you can see with your own eyes, through Sector 1, which is around Paddock Hill Bend and up towards Druids and around Graham Hill Bend, is the faster of the two. But this second part of the lap is where Sam Wilford is quicker, and there you see it, up the inside into Surtees, and he has got some speed coming around clearways, although he's left the door open there and James Folkard bites back again. The more these two fight, the more they may allow Dan Freer back into this race, but as it stands, it's between these two. There's Jody going absolutely crazy, screaming Sam on. Sam, who, as I mentioned, will race in the 450s this year, as well as the European Junior Cup over at the European rounds of the World Superbike this year. He's got a busy year, but he's a talented boy. These guys are just switching places every single corner. So far, we've seen them switch places on the first two. There's turn 3 and the third overtaking manoeuvre. Let's wait and see if we can have a full house here. Sam Wilford, yep, thank you very much. Turn 4, the fourth overtaking manoeuvre. Technically speaking, this is turn 5, so they've given themselves a break. They've got a bit of traffic up ahead of them, but they come around clearways and up towards Clark Curve, and they're going to have to try and pick the right line. And there you see it, another overtaking manoeuvre. That's 5. And Sam Wilford, as they go across the start-finish line, almost getting the 6th one done, and does. 6 overtaking manoeuvres in the space of a lap. As they swap paintwork. That is brilliant racing from Wilford and Folkard. Further back, that's 111 and 19. 111 Aaron Bradley, number 19 Neil Schofield. Neil up inside the top 10 of the stock twins at the moment. We've barely mentioned them, but Charlie Oakland is having good fun out there. She's on for a podium. She's up ahead of Jamie Morris, just behind the reigning champion Dan Taylor. Dan Freer, I mean, Dan's only about a 10th of a lap slower than these guys out front, but at the moment he's just not quite able to close in on Folkard, number 11, and number 1, Sam Wilford, who won this championship last year. I think we're going to see some proper racing this year between these guys. There's number 23, Charlie Oakland, we just mentioned her, from Immingham on the DF Racing Kawasaki. But across the line we go once more. Well, I mean, you might as well just basically throw a couple of names into the sky and see which one lands first, because I would not want to call this one. Oh, and Sam Wilford there almost throws it up the road into Druids. And James Folkard capitalises and takes the lead. Number 11 back out front, the rider from Liverpool, ahead of Sam Wilford. Sam, in this last, I would say, probably 18 months, have just come out of nowhere in terms of motorcycle racing form. He is a real talent. Ian Newton put the spotters on him probably about 16, 17 months ago and said, keep an eye on Wilford. He's going places. He was not wrong. James Folkard, we already know his talent. How he's not secured better rides over the last few years is beyond me. As the last lap flag comes out, it's between these two, unless of course they wipe each other out. Freer's there to pick up the pieces in third if necessary, but the two Aprilia 550s are now going to battle it out. Up towards Druids we go. Folkard went in there really quick and closed the door on any advances from Wilford. We know already that they can overtake at every single corner, but Wilford needs to be closer than he is there. Around Graham Hill Bend we go. This is the section of the circuit where Wilford really turns it on. Folkard taking the defensive line into Surtees. That's good there, but it will potentially bite him in the backside by the time we get round to Clark Curve. Wilford with that beautiful long sweeping line around clearways, and now into Clark Curve, and he's going to get into the slipstream. It's all eyes on the line as they come along to the checkered flags. Across the line we go, and Wilford gets it. He gets it by 58 thousandths of a second. Unbelievable stuff there from the two leaders, and in the end someone has to win. It's Wilford. I can tell you there, we just saw Dan Taylor going across the line to win the stock twins. He finishes in 4th overall. Dan Freer was only 2 seconds off the lead, and yet he's been completely overshadowed by these two 550 geniuses out front. Wilford and Folkard, what a race that was from them. There's Wilford in the middle, Folkard on the left, Dan Freer on the right of your screen, and in the stock twins it's Dan Taylor the winner from Charlie Oakland and Jamie Morris. Winner of that epic race there, Sam Wilford. What fun that was, certainly to watch. What was it like being involved in?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. Like, we was just battling every lap, like every corner, and yeah, no, really good.
Did you know that you were going to get him? Because we were watching through clearways and you were on his tail. It looked like you were going to try and pull the trigger, and it worked out for you on the line there just.
Yeah, I saw he got me into Druids, I think, and then I just tried getting really close around clearways and get the drive and get in his slipstream, and it just about worked out to the line.
Well done to you. And who would you like to thank?
Iron Competition, my mum and dad, Jodie, everyone who came up to see me today, Nobby, Penny and Clive,
Dave for building the great engine, and James for putting up a great battle, and all the marshals for helping.
Winner of the Stock Twins, Dan, you've started off as you've left off from last year. Good to get yourself up on the top step again, and the winter has treated you well.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, we haven't been any testing like everybody else by the looks of it by Facebook, but we rolled up at Brands Hatch. Usually, historically, this isn't a good round for me. I haven't yet finished all 4 races. Every time I've been here, I've either ended up in hospital, so we're just taking it steady. All right, I'm winning, but I'm taking it steady. Yeah, just try and build some points up.
Anyone to thank?
Yeah, I have. I was supposed to be giving up this year, last year, but thanks to Direct Commercials, they've given me a lifeline. So without them, I definitely wouldn't be here. I've got obviously we've got Direct Commercials, Shane Brocklehurst Transport, Northlinks Components. My dad, who's refreshed the bike this winter, absolutely running spot on. My team, Paul, Lee, my dad again, my missus, everybody, and marshals that are just up over there. They're great. Thank you very much.
All the marshals are great, Dan, all of them. Join us again after the break. It's time for the in-competition Aprilia 450s. Welcome back to Brands Hatch then, and it's time now for the in-competition Aprilia RRV 450 GPs. This race features also the Formula 400s and a couple of GP3 machines out there as well. There's Taz Taylor, British Championship rider out there, Moto3 runner, and we've got a number of other riders as well that we'll keep an eye out for. Curtis Drew, 101, former Super Team rider. Last year was in the 450s for the first time and certainly started to make progress toward the latter stages. He's gone very well yesterday. Sam Wilford, well, we already know how well he can go, not just based on last year, but based on what we saw before the break. At number 35 he runs in this race. On the second row there you can see number 19, Irish rider Aaron Clifford, who's certainly had a good winter because he's come out flying, all guns blazing. Zach Corduroy, former Super Team champion. Cameron Lee has certainly gone on really well since last year as well. Number 58, Will Hodgson, will be on board with him. He's got the onboard camera. Number 14, who was the runner-up in the 450 championship last year. So here we go, on board now with Will Hodgson on the RonHodgsonCars.co.uk Aprilia 450, just making a move there and into 5th place. These Aprilia 450s for 2015 are on Avon 3D Ultras. That's control tyres from Avon, and by all accounts we've had nothing but good news about them. They have been absolutely sensational so far, and there's plenty of Avon support in the paddock as well. So further back there, you just see number 43, Alex Platt from Lincoln on the Stamp End Garage Aprilia 450. If you've watched this championship before, you see the rider who's already pulled up in the background, then it needs no introduction really. You know that we're going to have some superb 450 racing to witness so far this year. Out front though, it is number 6 Taz Taylor on that Moto3 machine. Chris Burridge there on the Formula 400 going well. Number 53 as well. Chris, a local rider to this circuit, certainly knows his way around Brands Hatch. Sam Wilford just up ahead of him on the Aprilia 450. And as they get onto the Cooper straight there, Burridge just trying to use some power advantage there as they come up towards Tees. But it is Sam Wilford that effectively leads the Aprilia 450s. He's sandwiched between a GP3 and a Formula 400 at the moment. He won't be too worried about what goes on there, but Burridge there using that power and gets by Sam Wilford. But these 450s are nimble and they will fight back. There is some excellent battles going on a bit further back. I should just quickly point out Georgina Polden's out there racing as well. She's on a GP3 bike, of course. Last year's runner-up in the Aprilia Super Teams. Good luck to her for this season. We're back on board with Will Hodgson then. Will Hodgson at the moment, 3rd place in the 450s, and now we are looking down the exhaust pipe of Curtis Drew as he goes up underneath him into Graham Hill Bend, and that might have just run Curtis Drew a little wide through there. Either way, Will Hodgson, who had a terrible day at the office yesterday in the 450s, didn't make the podium. He's certainly eaten his Weetabix this morning, and he's up there fighting away on the podium places. Sam Wilford, though, as we just saw from the race earlier on, the moment he means business, and he's third place in this race, but leading the 450 battle. It's Taz Taylor out front with Burridge there in second. They'll lead their classes. There's Will Hodgson that we were on board with a moment ago, number 14. And in and amongst these guys, let's try and pick a few out for you so that you know, not just for today, but for future reference. 101 is Curtis Drew. 55 there, a lovely move up the inside is Ross Simpson, former Super Teen rider. Likewise, just behind him, Cameron Lee, number 58. There's number 99, Chris Gray, 400 rider. Number 50, Lewis Barnes, another 400 rider. Just going up the inside of those two 400s was number 69, Keelan Irwin on the Scott Racing Aprilia. Another Irish rider we mentioned in the Aprilia 125s is brother Reese. He's racing for the first time on board with Will Hodgson, and he's getting involved in a decent battle there with Ross Simpson. Look at this, excellent camera view here with Ross Simpson right alongside him. Onto the start-finish straight we go, and you can still see the front wheel of Ross Simpson here. It's advantage Ross as we go into Paddock Hill Bend, and there you see he had to make way for him. There is room just about for two through there, but it's just you don't really want to risk it. But Will Hodgson comes pouncing back up the inside into Druid's corner. This is the battle for the podium places in the Aprilia 450s. Out front it is in the 450s anyway. Sam Wilford, and just getting squeezed out there is Curtis Drew. Ross Simpson is not afraid of a move. Cameron Lee is there to pick up any pieces as well in case it goes wrong. Who else we got there? Danny Booth, KJD Racing. Both Curtis Drew and Danny Booth teammates for this year on the KJD Racing. Aprilia's number 101 and number 64. Danny Booth, you may remember from last year, the Nitro newcomer champion of the Super Teens, back on board with Hodgson, who's had to make way for Simpson once more, but Hodgson's got a good drive coming out of turn one. There's another one up the inside of him. Good move there from Cameron Lee, number 58, who last year in the paddock, nearly every time I saw him in Parc Ferme, he had a frown on his face. Something had gone wrong. He's been working hard over the winter, and he certainly looks a different character here. He's looking to get himself on that podium, is Cameron, number 58. And well, there's an argument to say that most of those 5-6 riders battling for second place deserve a go on the podium. This one, though, deserves the top step. Sam Wilford is in a class of his own, and we've lost a rider there. That's Zach Corduroy, former Super Teen champion of a couple of years ago, and he's distraught with that. That's just at the top, just before the entry of clearways there for Zach Corduroy, who goes out of this race. That's a shame for him because he's definitely a contender for the 450 top 3 overall. Taz Taylor, meanwhile, out front on the GP3 bike on this final lap, is going to win the GP3s up ahead of Chris Burridge, who looks set for glory in the Formula 400s. And just behind them, of course, 35, Sam Wilford, who looks like he's going to get 25 glorious points in the bag. Sam's not going to be at the next round at Donington because he's got his first round of the European Junior Cup, so it's an opportunity for a few others to make up some points. They're certainly going to need some by the looks of things. The checkered flag is out then, and it's a win for Taz Taylor in the GP3s. It's a win for Chris Burridge in the Formula 400 class. Here he is, number 53, and then an excellent piece of work from Sam Wilford, the Aprilia RRV 450 there. He finishes in third place but wins the 450s, and in that 450 battle it's a 1-2-3 for Sam Wilford, Cameron Lee and Will Hodgson. So Cameron Lee with his best ever 450 result there. Georgina Polden second in the GP3s, up in fourth place overall. There's the top 3 then in the 450s. It's Wilford, it's Cameron Lee and Will Hodgson. In the GP3s, it's Taz Taylor from Georgina Polden and Ed Best. And then in the Formula 400s, Chris Burridge, the race winner from Chris Gray and Lewis Barnes. Taz Taylor, winner here of the Moto3 race, GP3 race effectively. Not much competition out there for you here today, but good to get yourself out there.
Yeah, it's mint. We've got a lot of training coming up. This is just part of it, just get me ready for the BSB season. Just every lap counts really, and yeah, just getting the setup and everything sorted already, so yeah.
Sam Wilford, winner of the Aprilia 450 race there. Looked like you were having some good fun with a mixture of machinery out there, but the most important thing is you said goodbye to a couple of your 450 opponents earlier on in the race.
Yeah, could start building up the gap, and I was just watching my pit board. Had the 400 in front of me, and just let him go because I could see I was building the gap and I just wanted to concentrate on getting points.
Obviously, I know that you're going to miss the next round, but it's important to get these points on the board ready for round 3 when you're back again.
Yeah, that's the thing. We just want to build up points and then hopefully not lose out too much.
Anyone to thank at all?
Yeah, definitely. Iron Competition, my mum and dad, Jodie, everyone who's came up, Nobby, Jimmy for helping, Dave for building a great bike on the 550. Just everyone, Ian Newton, yeah.
There's a big boom and smile on the face of Cameron Lee. Cameron, last year you had your ups and downs, unfortunately mainly downs. This year started off with a bang and second place there.
Yeah, it was a really, really good race. It was just battling all the way through, but I put in the hard work in the off-season. I've been going to the gym, eating right, and I've been really focused on what I want to achieve for this year. So to come away with 2 second places is absolutely amazing. So I'm really chuffed and ready for the next race.
And what do you think you've got to do to try and close that gap down to Sam?
I think it's just got to be with the start, you know what I mean? We've got to get away with him to keep the pace, and then we can start thinking about moves and battling with him. Because by no means I think we've all got the pace to be there, but with the start and battling through the pack, it takes the time off us in the race, you know. So, but I think we'll get there.
Anyone to thank us all?
Yeah, I'd like to say a massive thank you to APPM Facility Services, which is my dad, and he's absolutely planned everything into me, and he just made everything possible, because without him I really would not be able to achieve what I've achieved and carry on achieving for what I'm going to do. It's just a massive, my mum and dad are a massive part of my racing, and without them it wouldn't happen. But I'd also like to thank Marcus White Training, Fitness Republic, Fuchs Ilkaline, Avon Tyres and Citrus Services and Nevis Marketing, and also just a big thank you to the Thundersport Paddock and Marshals, because without them there wouldn't be no racing. So thank you.
Third place in the RRV 450s, Will Hodgson. Will, fantastic year last year. You admitted to us this morning that you might have been asleep yesterday, but you've woken up this morning and you're back on the podium again.
Glad to be back up here. Yesterday I was really struggling, quite a bit off the pace that we were doing last year. Well, for me I was. Just all in my head, nothing to do with anything else. Bike's mega, everything's bob on, just really need to get my ass into gear. Had a good battle with Cameron and real good tough race, some good passes, good fun, so enjoyed it.
And as usual, loads of people to thank, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you to my dad, Ron Hodgson Specialist Cars, Joe Hodgson, Avon Tyres, Silkaline, Aprilia, Thundersport, all the Marshals, Medics, officials, Dave, Lewis, Jimmy, Myra, Gibbo. Can't believe I almost forgot Gibbo. Sorry, Gibbo, he's the main man. Yeah, everyone, thank you very much. Nitro Co-Ride. Cheers.
Don't go anywhere, folks. Coming up after the break, it's race 2 for the Aprilia Super Teens. Welcome back to Brands Hatch. It's come down a little. You can see the blue skies slowly starting to disappear, but it's time for race 2. The Aprilia Super Teens. Cameron Horseman there, who finished in second place overall in race 1. There's TJ Toms. He'll be looking to go one better this time, get himself on the podium. Max Cook, though, is the man on the move. The man, I should say, the boy. He's 12 years old. He was pole position yesterday, and he won both races. He's won the first race here today. He's third on the grid, courtesy of Mega Laps, where it takes into account all of your racing throughout the day, and then whoever's fastest starts on pole. That was Cameron Horseman, and away we go. Luckily for these riders do decide to paint their wheels in various different colours, so it's easier to spot. TJ Toms with the yellow wheels leads, ahead of green-wheeled Cameron Horseman, number 72. Then in third place, a bit further back there, is the Isle of Man rider Freddie Crane, number 81. Then Max Cook is back in 5th place. George Knight got himself up there, the rider from Brighton, number 23. Really good start for George. The sky blue wheels on his Aprilia 125 machine. All of these bikes absolutely identical. One make tyre supply as well, of course. Dunlop. Since I can remember, Dunlop has been the one make tyre for the Aprilia Super Teens. Certainly back from the years Stoner, etc. were racing. There goes through Connor Thompson, who got himself his first podium a little earlier on, and looking to do the same again. Number 96, Rhys Irwin from Letterkenny in the Republic of Ireland. His brother was just racing in the 450s. That's Rhys Irwin. But at the front here, it is Cameron Horseman that leads, number 72, up ahead of number 7, TJ Toms, the pint-sized TJ Toms. I thought he might grow a bit over the winter, but well, it might actually aid him that he's not grown so much over the winter as the season goes through. There's 78 going underneath 77. That's Matthew Bauer up ahead of Cade Verwey. Cade, a newcomer for 2015. But it's Horseman that leads, number 72, from number 7, TJ Toms. TJ not quite able to get himself on the main podium in race 1. Max Cook with a bit more work to do in this second race compared to race 1. He made light work of this, but just struggling a little bit this time. He's in 4th place. I say struggling, he's still well capable of winning this race. Freddie Crane now from 3rd place goes into the lead. Number 81, the rider from the Isle of Man. A really good solid move that. Further back is 55, Jack Scott from Luton on the JJ Racing machine. But it's Freddie Crane that leads now from Cameron Horseman. TJ Toms with the yellow wheels there, just in 3rd place. And then the 3-time winner already this weekend at Brands, Max Cook. Number 54 is Sam Messenger from Sutton on the Aprilia back there. There is your race leader though, Freddie Crane. Excellent move that was from him. Cameron Horseman just takes that wide approach into clearways, which will give him some nice drive down this start-finish straight. Of course, every bit of slipstream counts on these machines, all of them identical down the start-finish straight. And this is where someone like TJ Toms' lightweight would certainly help him a little, and Max Cook also. Max Cook is going to move up into 3rd place as a change for the lead. Horseman it is that takes the lead. Further back, this 55 and 96 is Jack Scott and Rhys Irwin. And these guys are potentially battling it out for the remaining Nitro Newcomer podiums at the moment, but this is your overall podium. Max Cook there, aggressive move, trying to go up the inside and move into 2nd place. Another of the KJD Racing riders in 3rd place at the moment, looking to win the first 4 races of the Aprilia Super Team weekend. I'm not sure that's ever been done before. 4th place there for TJ Toms, who's been just bumped back a little bit, but it's Cameron Horseman that still leads this one from Freddie Crane, Max Cook and TJ Toms. Further back, Connor Thompson is inside the top 6 ahead of Alex Wood, who's having a good race. Mentioned Rhys Irwin already. George Knight, got Lawrence Edgerly there, Matthew Bauer, Messenger, Verwey, Max Lofthouse. Who will win this second Super Team race as they come up towards Druids now? And Max Cook really is taking control once more. Max, who won that first race by quite a large amount, is looking to try and do the same again. And these guys behind are going to have to do all they can to stay, to keep Max Cook in their sights. It's Cook now that leads from Cameron Horseman. These two were the 1-2 in race 1, and Freddie Crane in 3rd. Then it's TJ Toms in 4th, and TJ will not want to settle for 4th place. Around clearways we go. Knee on your deck, on the deck there, goes uphill, then just drops away from you as you come on the exit of clearways around Clark Curve, then onto the start-finish straight. That'll be flat out top gear on one of these Aprilia Super Team machines. It's number 26, Alex Wood, just up ahead of Rhys Irwin, the 2 newcomers that are currently in 2nd and 3rd overall in the newcomers. Sorry, no, they're in 3rd and 4th. So they're battling for the final podium place. There's 9 and 23, Connor Thompson and George Knight. Number 30 and number 72, though, your race leaders. 30, Max Cook, the 12-year-old from Swindon, up ahead of number 72, 13-year-old Cameron Horseman from Forest Hill, who will get the advantage here. Cameron Horseman has got himself a big bunch of points at the moment to take to Donington Park. Max Cook looking for maximum. There is number 24, that's Max Lofthouse, just in one of his first ever races, just being lapped by the 2 race leaders who are breaking away from the rest of the pack now. Both TJ Toms and Freddie Crane just struggling to hang on to these 2 out front, and they're side by side as we go along the start-finish straight once more. Cameron Horseman on the outside, number 72, trying to find a way round, and that's big and brave if he can get that to stick. Max Cook's having none of it though, and he drifts himself out wide. That will open up the door though to Cameron Horseman, who does take the lead for the moment, and Max Cook almost gets his nose cut off. And if Max is going to win this, he's going to have to do it the hard way, because he's definitely got a race on his hands here. Further back it is number 23, George Knight, who was on the Nitro Newcomer podium a little earlier, up ahead there of number 9, Connor Thompson. All of these riders are going to improve as the year goes on, certainly the riders in the orange vests, but it's Cook at the moment that just has the advantage. Number 30 as they come through some traffic, ahead of Cameron Horseman. They're going to go either side there of Matthew Bauer. And then across the start-finish straight, they're almost having a look around to each other. It's the last lap. Horseman goes around the outside as they go around Paddock Hill Bend now. This is it. Who will get the win? Will Horseman get his first ever Super Teen win, or will Max Cook do the unbelievable and win all 4 in his first ever race? Around Druids we go. Really hot into there was Max Cook, and he's going to try and find another way round as they come up towards Graham Hill Bend. There's some traffic up ahead of them though. Number 97, Lawrence Edgley. Oh, and Max Cook has gone down, and it's not going to be 4 out of 4. Max Cook can't believe it. The rookie has gone down. His head in his hands. It's been a superb start to his championship, but it's not going to be 4 out of 4. And Cameron Horseman, who's had to settle for second so far, is going to pick up his first ever Aprilia Super Teen win. And it's actually, because of the points, going to really help him out overall in the championship at the end of round 1 as well. Across the line we go. Horseman wins his first ever Super Teen race there in style. And we have to wait a little while for second place. It's going to be Freddie Crane just from TJ Toms. That's your top 3 then. In 4th place, it's a Nitro newcomer win for Connor Thompson. That's his first ever newcomer win, ahead of Alex Wood and Rhys Irwin. We lost George Knight on that final lap as well. So it's all changed. Horseman, Crane and Toms, the top 3 overall. And then in the newcomers, it's Connor Thompson with a win ahead of Alex Wood and Rhys Irwin. Super Teen Challenge then, the points. 10-point lead. That's what you get for finishing your races over Max Cook, who won 3 races to get his 75. Freddie Crane there in 3rd, ahead of TJ Toms, Connor Thompson, George Knight. And in the newcomers, no surprises to see Max Cook at the top of that pile. 14 ahead of Connor Thompson, George Knight 3rd, ahead of Rhys Irwin, Sam Messenger and Alex Wood. Third place in the Nitro newcomers here. Rhys, this is your first ever day's racing. You look absolutely delighted to be on the podium.
It was class day, tons of great racing with Alex here.
And you must have a few people to thank as well, because this might not be the first time you're going to be on this podium steps.
Yeah, hopefully. I'd like to thank Aprilia, Dunlop, Thundersport, Oasis Bar, Letterkenny, Ian Newton Competition, Trevor from Scott Racing Motorcycles for all the help he's been giving me, Max and Suspension for all the suspension, Ari Helmet and Motor Direct, Motal, and of course I'd like to thank Davey for my helmet here from Paintbags.
Moving on now to second place in the Nitro newcomers. Alex, you look just as happy as Rhys.
Yeah, it's been great competition with Rhys. Happy to be on here, and yeah.
Anyone to thank at all?
Aprilia, Dunlop and Thundersport, and got PD Maintenance, Paul Bedford, and Transit Motorcycles in York for all the support and getting everything set up. Motul for supplying the oils for the year, and my dad especially for building me a quick bike, great ride, and Sarah, stepmom, for all the support, and everyone in my team just to, yeah.
Well done to you.
Thanks.
Move on now to Nitro newcomer winner Connor. Great result there for you. First weekend of racing with Thundersport, and well, there you go. How was that?
Yeah, it's a good race. Unfortunately, Max and George crashed, so, but I'll take it anyway. But
TJ Toms, TJ, not a bad start to the weekend for you. Some decent points on the board and another trophy here.
Yeah, it was actually a really good weekend. Just like to say well done to Max, and it's unfortunate that he crashed, and Freddie, because Freddie gave me an amazing battle in that race and the last race as well. So it's been a great day, and well done to Cameron for winning it. So it's been an amazing day. Yeah.
Freddie Crane, it's been a very good weekend for you here at Brands Hatch, and you've moved another step closer to the top step as well.
Yeah, it's been really good. I'm just collecting the points, you know. That race got a bit physical, but still came out second, and I'm really happy with it.
Cameron, your first ever win in the Aprilia Super Teens, your first weekend, you must be over the moon.
Yeah, it was good.
Really tough battles out there as well, and Max has gone down, so you'll be up there in the championship now.
Yeah.
Anyone to thank?
I'd like to thank my mum and dad and my family for supporting me, and Thundersport and Dunlop and Aprilia.
Will it be Wilford? Will it be Folkard? Race 2 for the Super Twins and Stock Twins coming up after the break. Welcome back to Brands Hatch. It's race 2 now for the Super Twins and Stock Twins, the HMT Racing Super Twins and the Avon Tyres Stock Twins. There's Dan Freer He was third in race 1. Can he do anything to stop these guys out front? There's a smiley-looking Sam Wilford. You can see from a couple of rain spots on the camera lens there and the clouds in the sky that temperatures have dropped quite considerably. We are expecting potentially some rain. Whether it falls or not, we will find out. What we do know is that James Folkard there we see, and Dan Taylor, who won the Stock Twins earlier. There's Jamie Morris, number 199. We do know that everyone will start with dry rubber. Of course, this is a dry race, so if we get any rain, then you'll probably know about it because one or two riders might slip off. We might even see red flags, but at the moment, let's forget about that and concentrate on the racing. It was an epic fight between Folkard and Wilford in race 1. Let's hope that Dan Freer can be a part of that as well, and maybe even Dan Taylor there in the background, number 26, who won the Stock Twins earlier on, as all the riders head up in towards Druids for the first time. It's James Folkard from Liverpool, number 11, that has the advantage on the Aprilia 550 machine, brought to you by Scott Racing Motorcycles. T. Scott's out there watching, I'm sure, and probably pulling his hair out watching him and Wilford battle it out earlier on in race 1. Dan Freer very close to them both there though. Back in 5th place is 23 Charlie Oakland. She can't sport her normal number 19 in this field because that belongs to Neil Schofield, who's a bit further back. But across the line we go, and Dan Freer definitely getting himself involved this time. The blue and yellow machine just slots up into 2nd place there. It's Sam Wilford that leads. Dan Freer there, number 66, having a look up the inside into Druids as well, and that will be tight. And all of this battling going on up ahead means that Dan Taylor is in with a sniff here as well in 4th place, the Stock Twins leader, number 26, last year's Mini Twin champion. Sam Wilford it is that leads this one from Freer. Folkard in 3rd as a cheeky look over his shoulder to see whether it's just down to these 3 or whether Dan Taylor has anything to say about it. Well, the news is that if you continue to trip each other up, you will have an 8-wheel battle for this win. But these guys are going to have to try and work together. Dan Freer, however, in 2nd place is not interested in any of that. He saw what happened in race 1 and he's trying to put it right. He's up there into 2nd place. Dan Freer, more than capable of winning this race. He's a champion with Thundersport before, and every single championship he enters, he's up at the sharp end. He's got excellent racecraft. He knows when he can put up a fight. He knows when he needs to settle, and at the moment there's no settling going on between these 3. Paint swapping all the way. I'm not sure blue will go very well on Sam Wilford's Aprilia 550, but he might not have any say in the matter very shortly. Up towards Surtees we go. Wilford, Freer and Folkard so close you could throw a blanket over them. Wilford number 1. Reason for that, of course, is that he is the reigning champion. James Folkard, a former Aprilia 450 champion, and Daniel Freer there, number 66, who's got that rather unique line around. Clearways, number 66, a former Formula 600 champion. In 4th, Dan Taylor, the reigning Mini Twins champion. So we've got 4 champions in the top 4 at the moment, one way or another. This is a fantastic battle though, and I'm so pleased that Dan Freer's got his nose in this one as well. Wilford it is in charge so far around Druid, then Freer, then Folkard. That gap back to Dan Taylor just by about 1.5 2 tenths per lap, just widening all the time. Further back there you can see Aaron Bradley's in a battle with Greg Madero and Neil Schofield. George Lawson's up there. Jamie Morris is up ahead of them though. Jamie, Charlie and Dan Taylor, that's top 3 in reverse order of the Stock Twins. This is the battle for the win outright here for race 2. Sam Wilford it is that leads, pulling out of the slipstream on the right of your screen, number 11 James Folkard, and then number 66 Dan Freer. We have the advantage of getting split times coming up here as these guys are pushing each other to the absolute limit. It's now Folkard that has the lead, who comes around the outside of Wilford, a classic move into Druids there. We saw Charlie Oakland, number 23, then 199 Jamie Morris, 111 is Bradley, 19 is Schofield. Wilford through sector 1 is just quicker by 100ths of a second than these 2. It's the second part, this part of the circuit, where Wilford has the big advantage. He's 1/10 of a second quicker than Freer, and he's 2/10 quicker than Folkard in this final sector, and particularly his speed coming around that final turn. Look at the drive that he's got to the line, and the good thing about winning race 1 is that Sam Wilford knows that he's got that ace card up his sleeve, that he can and will drag James Folkard to the line if he's close enough and we get to the final lap and we have the same situation again. So Folkard knows that happened also, and he knows he's going to have to get the job done earlier on in the lap, that it's probably not going to happen. Now, this is an important part. This is where Wilford is quick. At the moment, he leads, number 35, from Folkard. Can he break away? Can he find any sort of gap at all as they come up to their first bits of traffic here in this epic HMT Racing Super Twins and Avon Tyres Stock Twins race? Here we go, onto the start-finish straight. There's not much in it. There are just a couple of hundredths and thousandths going on here. There's just not anything in it at all, although Folkard can't quite drag Wilford to the line, unlike Wilford dragging Folkard to the line. So interesting stuff here. A bit of cat and mouse going on and some traffic to throw in as well. And that was neatly done by James Folkard. He ate those back buckers up for breakfast around Druids, and he's capitalised there by taking maybe a tenth or two out of Sam Wilford, and he leads by, without a question, the biggest margin that we've seen so far in this race. Further back there is number 10. That's George Lawson, number 4 on the Suzuki, having a bit of fun and trying to get himself up into the top 5 overall of the stocks. This is Folkard and Wilford. Wilford has a little look over at James to say hello as they go past the start-finish line once more. Freer just being dropped away again. That last lap, he was half a tenth off those two, but it's enough for him to not be potentially close enough to win. But Wilford makes a small mistake going into Druids. He allows Folkard back through, and that in turn allows Freer back in. There's a retirement there at 78 Giles Day on the Blackstone Racing Suzuki. Sadly for him, he pulls out of the race over at Druids. Further back there, you can see number 69, that's Danny Huskinson, about to be lapped by 199 Jamie Morris. Charlie Oakland up ahead of them. They're second and third in the Stock Twins. Dan Taylor, the reigning miniature champion, still leading the Stock Twins. But this is the battle for the win. You can see that every time these two run each other wide, Freer is still in the picture. We've seen already from races at Thundersport, at Brands Hatch, that people in third place can still win these races, and now there's a chance as these guys switch places all over the place. Folkard it is that still has the advantage, but for how long? Wilford thought about a move up into Graham Hill there, but you've got to get that done well before you tip in if you want it to stick. It's the final lap now. Who is going to get this win? Can Freer get his nose in the frame? It's hard to say, but Folkard is out front when it matters. He leads at the moment. We saw this in race 1, and Wilford got him on the line. I think we're going to see something similar again. Freer is closer this time, but he's not going to win this one. Who's going to get the win? Across the line, they are side by side, and that is photo finish stuff. And it is Wilford by 24 thousandths of a second. And that is as good as photo finish stuff at the front between Wilford and Folkard. Wilford, he's number 1 for a reason. He's done it again. He's taken the win from Folkard, and Freer in third place. He only finished 4 tenths off them, but I bet he feels miles away there in third. Dan Taylor was in 4th. He looked delighted with that. He's not finished an entire weekend before without injuring himself or something. Wilford it is that wins in the Super Twins, ahead of Folkard and Freer, and in the Stock Twins they're very happy Dan Taylor, ahead of Charlie Oakland and Jamie Morris. Let's have a look at the points then, heading into Donington round 2. 12 in it between Wilford, who is the reigning champion, and James Folkard, and then Daniel Freer there. Just 18 behind leader in third, ahead of Lawson, Brad Peary and Alex Taylor. Further back there in the Stock Twins, it's Dan Taylor with the lead, already with 31 points over Charlie Oakland. Neil Schofield in third. Okay, we're in Parc Ferme. We're going to speak to race winners in a moment. Just caught up with James Folkard. James, we're going to have to speak to you because you've missed out on 2 race wins by the finest of margins, but that looks like good fun.
Yeah, it was mega fun. To be honest, I was working with Sam last year to sort of help him in the 450s and everything. So me and him
I bet you wish you hadn't now.
Well, exactly. I'm regretting it massive. But no, he's riding fantastic. He really is. I'm really proud of him, to be honest with you. We're working with him last year and everything. But he's just, I'm 10 kilos on him and he's just getting me down the straight sort of thing. But we're leaving everybody else for dead, to be honest. The Aprilias are fantastic bikes, and the new tyres that we're running, the Avon tyres, are fantastic. They really, really are. But I just got to give a big thank you to T. Scott. His team sponsored by Oasis, the Oasis Bar. They're doing a fantastic job for us. So yeah, brilliant.
Oh, well done.
Cheers, bud. Thanks very much.
Dan Taylor, you made it. I thought you were going to curse your own luck, but you've got yourself a fantastic start to the 2015 championship with another win.
Yeah, I have, yeah. Like I say, I'm pleased with that, gotta be. And I made a couple of mistakes in that race. Back markers was playing a bit of a tail on me. I didn't know how far Charlie was behind me, so I was trying to push to get another gap. But all in all, can't complain, can I?
No, and we can't complain either. We've got one more race remaining. Don't go anywhere. After the break, it's the 450s. Welcome back to Brands Hatch for the final part of GP Racing Dream. The in-competition Aprilia RRV 450 Championship is underway, and they're joined on the grid here by Taz Taylor, GP3 race winner from earlier on. Chris Burridge, of course, we saw him in the Formula 400s earlier on, but there is the first of the 450s on the grid anyway. Curtis Drew on the KJD racing machine. There's Sam Wilford. We've seen plenty of him so far this weekend. He could cap off what has been a superb weekend with another win here. Further back is Burridge on the left, 53. Ross Simpson, number 55. Look out for the rest of the 450s as well. And we have, of course, that on-board camera on last year's runner-up, Will Hodgson. Away from the line we go, and here we are on board with Will Hodgson, and what a lovely view that is as they get away. A good start from Will, actually, as they head into turn 1. But it is Curtis Drew that gets the best start of all as they head up towards Druids for the first time. Sam Wilford there, number 35, getting himself into second place. In third is Taz Taylor. Then it looked like there were elbows between Cameron Lee and Will Hodgson. Further back there is Lewis Barnes, number 50, the Formula 400 rider. Number 96 is Connor Wheeler, going around Graham Hill Bend there on his Aprilia 450, but it's Curtis Drew and Sam Wilford that have the advantage. Excellent start from the KJD rider there up ahead of Wilford, and Will Hodgson almost wiping out Taz Taylor. On board with Will now, around Clearways, up round Clark Curve and onto the start-finish straight. There's Sam Wilford's pit board being held by Jodie. She'll be screaming him on as usual. Taz Taylor there on that GP3 machine takes the lead, but we're now on board again with Will Hodgson down through Paddock Hill Bend, up towards Druids and up into second place in the 450s for Will Hodgson. It's Sam Wilford that leads that one. Further back there you can see now is Curtis Drew, Chris Burridge, number 53, leader of the Formula 400s, and then just behind them is Cameron Lee, number 58. Danny Booth as well. Danny Booth is making excellent progress. Number 64, another of the KJD riders. Look out for him. Nitro newcomer champion in the Super Teams last year has told me that he absolutely loves this 450 bike. It is just mega. It is the perfect way to jump from Super Teams onto 450s. Of course, at the top of the show, we spoke to Tony Campbell, who's starting from the back of the grid. And he's riding relatively well, actually, in race 1. He finished in 18th place overall. That was 12th of all the RRV 450. So keep an eye on Tony. He's riding number 17. This is Sam Wilford, number 35, and Chris Burridge there on the 400. Sam Wilford looking for another win here. This would set his year off perfectly. As I mentioned before, he'll miss the next round, which is an excellent opportunity for the rest of the 450s to close in on Sam, but then he will be with us for the rest of the season, trying to win another Super Twin Championship, and of course his first Aprilia RRV 450 Championship. Onto the start-finish straight we go there, and you can just see the 400 squirming and power, using the power to get by Sam Wilford onto the start-finish straight. Now on board with Will Hodgson, a wide line there. Oh, a mega wide line around Paddock Hill Bend, and that could have been really nasty, and that allows through Danny Booth, last year's Nitro newcomer champion, up the inside, number 64. What a start to the season this is, and you can see him getting tucked in behind the screen there. Beautiful looking machine, that one. KJD Racing Aprilia 450 for Danny Booth. He moves up ahead of Will Hodgson, then Cameron Lee. And then just behind those guys, it looks like Ross Simpson, and we've got Curtis Drew there as well. Around Clearways and Clark Curve we go. Sam Wilford it is that leads the 450s. In second place it is Danny Booth. Out front, Taz Taylor leads on the GP3. Chris Burridge in the Formula 400s. 158 in the 450s for this year. is Tristan Finocchiaro on the Transmet Group Aprilia, but we're back on board with Will Hodgson again, and he goes into second place overall in the 450s. And he pushes both himself and Danny Booth wide. That's going to allow Cameron Lee back into the frame. But nice new helmet design this year for Will Hodgson as well. He'll stand out a mile with that. Liking that a lot. Well done, Will. Onto the Cooper straight we go, and Will ducking and weaving and trying to make sure that he shakes off the advances of the 450s behind. He would not want rear view mirrors on that 450 at the moment. Looking back at this lot, it's Danny Booth and Cameron Lee resting on his shoulder like a pirate's parrot. There it is though, Sam Wilford that has this advantage in the 450s. He's just looking so smooth and so relaxed at the moment. There's Taz Taylor leading the GP3 race. And Chris Burridge on the 400s, and then look at this lot here. This is the fight for second place in the Aprilia RRV 450s. There's Tristan Finocchiaro and number 43 Alex Platt. They're having a good fight further back, those guys, for 13th and 14th overall, but this is the battle for second in the 450s. Number 14, Will Hodgson, who has been on board with. Number 64 is Danny Booth. We've got in there Cameron Lee as well. We've got Ross Simpson. Will Kane's a million miles away. Number 7, Will, former Super Team rider as well. On board with Will Hodgson now, coming into Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, and he's had to sit up slightly there, and he allows through Danny Booth once more as they head up towards Druids. There's the 450 leader, Sam Wilford. And then it's Cameron Lee, in fact, that went up the inside, not Danny Booth. Similar colour schemes, those guys. There is Cameron. What a first round to the season Cameron is having as they go around Graham Hill Bend here. We'll try to find room to get past Cameron there, but no such luck. Cameron looking for another second place. There's race leader of the 450s, Sam Wilford. In fact, these guys are catching Sam. I'm not sure if he's just trying to cruise around a bit at the moment, but these 4, 5, 6, in fact, Aprilia 450s are closing in on Sam Wilford a bit. We are running out of laps though. Will Hodgson we're on board with at the moment. Just about to put a lap on one of the back markers. That up ahead is Cameron Lee, and then you can just about see Sam Wilford, but he's been overtaken by Danny Booth now as well around Paddock Hill Bend. There is Sam Wilford. Another couple of laps, you know, and these guys could be on him. There's Georgina Polden, another of the GP3 riders, of course, last year's overall runner-up in the Aprilia Super Teams. She's having some fun on that GP3 machine. She knows Danny Booth well, of course. They both raced in the Super Teams last year. This is anyone. Second place in the 450s. Another lap or so, and they'd catch up with Sam Wilford, but there's not going to be enough time left in this one. There's Cameron Lee, number 58, with a red helmet, currently second in the 450s, third to Danny Booth. There's Will Hodgson trying to find a way through, and then just behind Will Hodgson, you've got there Polden in the mix, Simpson, Will Keynes isn't far behind either. Here is Will Hodgson now getting in the slipstream, onto the start-finish straight, and they see the last lap flag. Into turn 1 we go. Danny Booth and Cameron Lee are side by side. They're not going to be able to quite catch Sam Wilford, I don't think. It is Taz Taylor that leads the GP3s, Chris Burridge that leads the Formula 400. This is Sam Wilford leading the 450s. Then it's Danny Booth and Cameron Lee. Will Hodgson there in 4th at the moment. He's not going to be on the podium. We're on board with him now, and he's right up and squeezing past Cameron Lee down into Graham Hill Bend. Is there enough room? There is, and he goes and uses all of the curb on the exit. We'll see how that one turns out in a minute. Meanwhile, number 6 here, Taz Taylor, will win the GP3 race here. A decent one for him. Burridge will do the same in the Formula 400. Who will get these final spots then on the podium? There's Will Hodgson up ahead of Cameron Lee. Danny Booth is going to finish on the podium here on the 450s. There's Taz Taylor's win in the GP3. Here's Chris Burridge to take the Formula 400. In the background then we look for 35. There he is. He wins. Sam Wilford, the 450s, and Danny Booth an excellent second place. And in third is just Will Hodgson. He just squeaks it past Cameron Lee there for 5th and 6th overall, but Will Hodgson will be on the podium again. Good racing that from the 450s. Expect to see plenty more of that as the season goes on. The top 3 then, Wilford, an excellent second for a jubilant Danny Booth, and third for Hodgson. In the GP3s there, it's Taz Taylor, Georgina Polden and Ed Best. And in the Formula 400s, it's Chris Burridge, the winner from Lewis Barnes, and Chris Gray. Championship points heading into Donington Park. Wilford won't be there, but he took maximum points here at Brands Hatch. Cameron Lee is in second place, 10 ahead of Ross Simpson. Hodgson in fourth, ahead of Booth and Curtis Drew. In the Formula 400, it's Chris Burridge with the advantage ahead of Lewis Barnes, Chris Gray, Adam Goodyear, Richie Canole and Luca Taglio. Winner of the Aprilia RRV 450, Sam Wilford. Sam, well, you mentioned earlier that you're going to miss Donington Park, but, well, you've certainly got some points in the bag. Great way to start here at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, couldn't have gone better. 100 points. Built up a bit of a gap for Donington, so yeah, see how it goes.
Second place in the Aprilia 450s. Your first weekend out on the 450s, Danny, and you're back on the podium. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just been the best weekend I've had racing ever. I absolutely love it. So yeah, and to get a second, I was aiming for top 10. So second's just amazing. I'm really happy with it. So yeah.
And you like the 450?
Oh, I love it. It's the best bike I've rid. Yeah, I've only rid 2, but yeah.
Anyone to thank as well, there, Danny?
Yeah, most of all, I'd like to thank KJD Racing for just being an amazing team and just getting me here. I wouldn't be here this season without them, definitely. So yeah. Avon tyres, long-term battery services, Thundersport, design iteration, motor oil, and everyone else who's helped me. Yeah, cheers.
Well done. Third place in race 2 on Sunday here at Brands Hatch. Will Hodgson. Will, absolutely hectic racing going on here between quite a few of you for second place overall. And, well, you're back on the podium again, but it could have been a step further up. It could have been a few back.
I certainly could. Personally, I'd rather have been on the top step, but third's as good as any, really, when you're struggling all weekend. So, couldn't put a glove on Sam all weekend. He's just gone. Hopefully Donington will be able to get a bit better starting position and get away at the front. Brilliant racing though. Congratulations to Danny on his first podium, and Cameron and all the other lads. Ross, real good racing, enjoyed it.
It's goodbye from Brands Hatch for another year. What a fantastic round 1. Round 2 from Donington Park. Join us again next month.